This is Jack Watkin, the self-proclaimed rich kid of Instagram.
He called himself the Kardashian of Cheshire.
In 2016.
People think because we've got the cars, the clothes, all the things around us, the house, they say we're like the British Kardashians.
Living a life of glam, cash, and designer bags.
The teenager regularly dines at the most exclusive restaurants.
But today, nearly 10 years later, Watkin pleaded guilty to defrauding strangers.
But it was all a lie. What brought Jack Watkins down wasn't a detective, it was Instagram.
Mr. Watkin himself is from a wealthy background. There is no denying that. Unfortunately, there comes an age where you are an adult.
Miss this, and you'll miss one of the wildest cons ever exposed. The fake rich life of Jack Watkins. Jack Watkins looked like he had it all. Fancy designer clothes, luxury shoes, rare handbags, and 5-star vacations. His Instagram was full of it. He lived like a celebrity and called himself the Kardashian of Cheshire. People believed he was rich, famous, and successful. But it was all fake. A lie carefully crafted to trap people. Behind the glitz was a man with no job, no business, and no real money. Jack Watkins was a professional fraud. At just 26 years old, Jack had already made a name for himself after appearing in a Channel 4 documentary called Rich Kids of Instagram. It followed Britain's young elite and their wealthy lifestyles. But unlike the others, Jack wasn't born into riches. He used the show to fake his image, to build a story that he was rich when he wasn't. Every luxury item he posted, the clothes, the bags, the exotic trips, were funded through lies, loans, and stolen money. He told people he had exclusive access to Hermes bags, luxury items that can only be bought by selected customers. He made up a fake business that promised others they could also make money by investing in these bags. He promised big profits. People believed him because of how he looked, rich, confident, and flashy. But once they gave him their money, they never saw it again. To keep the lie alive, Watkins used the stolen cash to stay in expensive hotels like the Dorchester in London, where rooms can cost up to $3,000 per night. He took pictures in exotic places, wearing designer brands, and made people think he was a millionaire. But the reality? He was using others' money to fuel the illusion. His own father wasn't safe either. Jack convinced him to lend $29,000 and never paid it back. A barman from Harrods, a high-end department store, also fell for the scam, believing Jack was wealthy enough to repay the loan. One by one, Watkins built a house of cards based on charm, lies, and fake wealth. He didn't just act rich, he lived the lie. That's what made him so dangerous. People believed in his lifestyle because it was always on display. His biggest weapon wasn't violence or hacking, it was Instagram. But like all lies, it couldn't last forever. And soon, cracks started to show. The handbag investment scam. Jack Watkins' biggest con was centered around one of the most exclusive items in fashion, Hermes handbags. These luxury bags, especially the Birkin and Kelly models, aren't just expensive. They're nearly impossible to get. Only selected, registered customers can buy them directly from Hermes, and even then, it's a long waiting game. Resold on the open market, they can easily go for tens of thousands of pounds. And Jack used this exclusivity to his advantage. He pretended to be one of these chosen few who had access to buy Hermes bags. Then he told people he had a business, a golden opportunity. According to him, they could invest money with him. He'd buy the bags, resell them at a profit, and share that profit with them. Simple, clean, and extremely convincing, especially when the promise came from a man who looked like he lived the life of a fashion tycoon. And here's where it gets darker. In some cases, he actually paid the first few investors back with money he stole from others. This made it look like the business was real. He even returned $10,000 plus a profit of $1,500 to a woman named Christine, who owned a boutique called Dress Cheshire. But that was just the bait. Once her trust was won, she continued to invest and lost over $130,000. Other victims gave him money thinking they were buying bags for themselves or investing in a resale business. Some even handed him bags to sell on their behalf, expecting payments that never came. In one case, Christine gave him a client's handbag worth over $18,000. Jack sent only for $11,000. She had to cover the rest. Jack always had excuses. He was sick, abroad, entertaining clients, or waiting for transfers. He gave people hope that their money or bags were coming, but they never did. Everything was built on a lie. The scam lasted from 2019 to 2022. During that time, he spent over $139,000 at the Dorchester Hotel alone, showing off stolen wealth while victims waited for their returns. But one victim fought back. and exposed him online. And that's where his empire of lies started to collapse. Caught through social media, Jack Watkins might have fooled many, but in the end, it was social media, the very tool he used to build his fake empire, that brought him down. One of his victims, Christine Kaur, the owner of Dress Cheshire, had enough. After being defrauded out of over $130,000, she decided to warn others. She posted a message on Instagram, revealing details of a man named Jack who had scammed her under the alias Jack Holding. That one post changed everything. An old friend of Jack saw the warning and immediately reached out to Christine. She too had been scammed, nearly 100,000 gone. Together, they formed a plan. The friend would lure Jack to a pub, pretending everything was fine. Then, they would call the police. On March 18, 2024, the trap worked. As Jack arrived, unsuspecting and confident, detectives were already nearby. They waited for the right moment, and then arrested him on the spot. The body cam footage from that arrest was later released by Cheshire Police. It shows Jack calmly trying to talk his way out of the situation, but the officers made it clear he wasn't going anywhere. At the time of his arrest, he was charged with multiple counts of fraud. This was only the beginning. As the investigation deepened, police searched his digital devices. What they found shocked everyone. In addition to defrauding friends, clients, and even his own father, Jack had also been hiding a darker secret: indecent images of children and extreme pornographic content. The charges against him now included child sex crimes, making his case not just about lies and money, but about something far more disturbing. Jack, who once posed as a glamorous fashion investor, was now exposed as a conman and a criminal. His social media fame had brought him wealth, victims, and attention. But it also left a trail of evidence. And in the end, it was the same online world he manipulated that turned against him. Jack Watkins' carefully crafted life had officially crumbled. From fraudster to felon. After Jack Watkins' arrest, the shocking layers of his crimes began to unfold in court. He wasn't just a smooth-talking scammer. He was a serial liar, a digital predator, and a master manipulator. His victims ranged from boutique owners to luxury store staff, even his own father. One by one came forward with stories of betrayal and financial loss. When his fraud case reached Chester Crown Court, Jack tried to keep up the act. But the evidence was too strong. After hearing testimony and seeing the proof, he changed his plea to guilty on 6 counts of fraud. Prosecutors revealed how he used charm and false promises to steal hundreds of thousands of pounds. Every handbag deal, every investment pitch, every smiling selfie, it was all part of his grand con. But the most disturbing twist came from the second set of charges, related to child sex abuse material found on his devices. Between his arrests in March and October 2024, Jack had already violated his bail by scamming yet another man out of $800. When tried for the digital crimes, he was found guilty of 7 serious charges, including making and possessing indecent images of children. The judge is expected to deliver his sentence on September 3rd. Legal experts believe Jack could face a long prison term, with the fraud and sex crime sentences possibly being served consecutively. The court may also order confiscation of his luxury goods to recover losses for victims. From flaunting wealth on Instagram to sitting in a prison cell, Jack Watkins' fall from grace is complete. His story is a reminder not every influencer is real, and behind every perfect post, there could be a perfect lie. If someone this bold can fool friends and family, how many others are hiding in plain sight? Hit that subscribe button and tell us, do you think social media is creating more scammers? Don't miss our next video. P. Diddy fights for his life as jury debates his fate.